So, Brad, what have you been doing all day?
Not much.
Not much?
Yeah.
While you were doing not much, I edited two packages about the DA's inability to get convictions on white collar crimes. I landed an interview with the city planner and two live shots for noon and evening news. Oh, and a woman stopped by the station practically begging us to do a story about her husband who's wrongfully imprisoned. A guy named Lighthold?
Lighthold?
He's a pilot. She says he flew missions for George Bush to Paris back in the 1980s, something to do with the American hostage crisis in Iran, negotiating the release after the election.
Really?
Anyway, Amy Lighthold, yeah, I think that's her name, she's trying to free her husband from jail. So naturally, I referred her to you.
What?
This Lighthold guy supposedly has inside information about the hostage crisis, Iran-Iraq war, and the murders of Senators Hines and Tower, the kind of stuff a hotshot civil rights attorney like you would want access to.
Oh, come on, Beth. How many cases have I lost this past year alone? All overturned due to technicalities or mistrials. So much for believing all the crap I taught you in law school about laws being meant to protect ordinary people. Yet for some reason, the real fun cases always seem to involve people who can't pay. Go figure that one.
Yes, excuses, excuses.
Oh, really? How long have you been practicing law, Missy?
The question is how long you are not going to practice law. That's right. Keep flipping through those channels. Who's paying the electric bills? Your invisible roommate?
Don't start that again.
Listen, Brad, I know you think work is a four-letter word. It's not. I remember when you loved investigating and writing court briefs, keeping me waiting all hours of the night when we were first dating even. Don't give me that pouty, I'm disgusted with the law stuff. It's exciting. We both love the adrenaline rush of our jobs. Get back in the game, boy, and maybe we can act like we're dating. Get out to dinner sometimes.
Oh, I can take you out for dinner. That's not an issue.
All right, enough. One of us, I've got to go to work. But before I do, I took the time to look into what this woman was talking about. I pulled out some pictures and footage from when I actually anchored the early morning news. You might get a kick out of this. You might faintly remember it.
Okay, I'll switch off the TV and focus on this, but no promises. I'm simply intrigued by how much you've changed over the years, or what you must have looked like when you first started in the business.
I think there's a lot more to be intrigued about. Do you remember Iran-Contra, the scandal, Oliver North?
Barely.
It was a big deal, at least in Washington. It was a big scandal.
I remember the theater and the Senate hearing with Oliver North when he became an instant American hero fighting communism with any trick in the book.
Well, it was a big sham.
What do you mean?
According to this woman, Amy, her husband knows details they were covering up, and he's been thrown into jail to keep him quiet.
Really?
Apparently, people were killed to keep things quiet, including a few U.S. senators, even the head of the CIA.
Really? The head of the CIA? If you or her say so.
Well, it was all a big sham.
So what does she really say happened?
Well, that's what I'm hoping you will find out.
Uh...
Here's what I have.
Good evening. William Casey, Director of CIA, lost the ability to speak today. 2 days ago, he suffered a seizure in his office and was rushed to Georgetown University Hospital. A brain tumor was removed as a result. He suffered brain damage during the operation. He was due to provide testimony to the House Select Committee on Intelligence regarding the Iran-Contra matter yesterday.
He was in the middle of providing testimony to the House Select Committee on Intelligence, December 9, 1986. Casey collapsed in his office the very next day.
What?
They were getting into the middle of the investigations. Lee Hamilton, the chairman, had asked questions about how $16 million from arms deals disappeared. And boom, William Casey, the head of the CIA, is dead. 5 years later, two senators involved in the same hearings died in plane crashes a day apart. On April 4, 1991, Senator John Hines and his whole delegation boarded a private plane. Minutes later, it crashed in a school playground, killing more than a dozen children. Hines and most of his staff wiped out. I remember people saying it was a beautiful, clear day, a great day to fly. And then, on April the 5th, the very next day, Senator John Tower also died in an airplane crash. He was the chairman of President's Special Review Board of the Iran-Contra affair. That's the hearing Ollie North testified in.
What?
Tower's plane fell, nose first, into a forest within view of Interstate 90 near an airport in Texas. I have video of it all. There was an explosion, and nobody knows what caused it, even now.
3 political fat cats die and nobody knows what happened? Who investigated?
This woman, Amy Lighthold, says her husband knows what happened, who did it, and why. And with a good lawyer, he might get a pardon, and maybe even get out of jail.
So you volunteered my services?
I'm telling you, there's a story here, and likely a paying client, and a good cause, a just cause. I know how that intrigues you. Why don't you visit her husband, Mr. Lighthold, and find out?